I have here today. We have Leah Garcia here, Zion Anagro,
I don't hear
Cassandra Terry.
anything.
Oh, well, yeah, we can hear you, Cassandra. She said she can't hear. And Annie's here. So
Hello.
so we are gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna jump right in. Our topic for today is how to overcome fear. And the reason why I chose this topic is because I realized that the number one factor that stops people from succeeding in business and in life is fear. And it's so bad that people are fearful of talking about fear. So, so like we're gonna tackle fear today. We're gonna tackle fear. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Leah first. So Leah, get ready. I think Cassandra may have to come back in. But like I said, I think it's a very important topic, and people have fear of like self doubt and anxiety, and for all kinds of reasons. And today we're going to tackle it. So I am going to go first to our good friend all the way in California. She is a financial expert. Okay, she is actually a black belt in martial arts, and she teaches people how to make money, how to save money, how to invest money. And for those people that say money doesn't bring happiness, well, I know a lot of people that say, I want to be rich. And I've never met one person that said, I want to be broke. So it must bring some happiness. It must bring some happiness. So let me go out to California to our good friend, Leah Garcia. Leah, the floor is yours.
Happy Motivation Monday with Eric and friends, my good friend Zion and Annie and Eric F. King of Collaboration. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here with you on this Monday, and it is 4 a.m. and I am fired up. My name is Leah Garcia, and I'm here to help you earn your black belt in financial literacy in bite-sized golden nuggets. And I love this topic because so many times people are afraid about money. They have so much fear that is just about money. And fear keeps people, it keeps them what? It keeps them in poverty. It keeps them from getting the proper health insurance and putting life insurance in place and talking about their finances. Fear keeps people broke. Listen, this is going to be a gloves off conversation today. I gotta say, this is so important. Like, I want to just scream from the mountaintop, and I'm here on the mountaintop in Los Banos, California. Okay. So don't allow these fears to stop you. And you hear these words like, oh, you know what? I just want to be comfortable. Well, let me ask you a question. When the prices of gas doubled, how comfortable was that? When the price of food went up, how comfortable was that? When the interest rates went up, people couldn't afford their mortgages now. We have more foreclosures pending than almost any time in the past 20 or 30 years. So comfortable is it's an illusion. So let me ask you a question, or you should ask yourself a question. What are you going to allow fear to prevent you from getting? Are you going to allow fear to prevent you from protecting your family? Are you going to allow fear to protect you from putting in the proper estate plan? Are you going to allow fear to prevent you from creating a legacy? What is a legacy that you want to leave on this earth? And I'm going to tell you a story. I have a good friend who I've known for several years, and we kind of lost touch, as sometimes friends do. And he was a single dad raising his beautiful daughter. And he had actually taken custody from the mom, and he was a full-time dad. And he was working with the NFL. He was a personal trainer. And I lost touch with him, and I reached out to him a couple of weeks ago because I had someone who needed his help, and I wanted to refer him over. And his number was disconnected. And then I thought, you know what? He does this personal training. I'm sure he's on social media. So I went on social media. And what's the first thing that came up? Go fund me for my good friend. He passed away driving home at midnight. And he was minutes away from his home. It's just a tragic, terrible accident. And all I could think of was his precious daughter. And I looked at the GoFundMe and I saw a picture that I know I've seen that picture and him of his daughter. And they were doing a GoFundMe to raise funds for him. And and I got to tell you, I talked to him at nauseum about getting life insurance, putting in the proper estate plan, putting in those benefits to take care of his precious daughter in case he were to pass away. And he always told me, "Oh, Leah, I've got it covered. Oh, Leah, you know what? I've got insurance through my job. Oh, Leah, I've got it through the NFL." But you know what? At the end of the day, he didn't have it. And the daughter went back to the mom. Listen, folks, this is a difficult conversation. I understand it. I get it. But I want you to know that there are people who care and who want to help and guide you. And oftentimes people say to me, "Well, you know what? I just can't afford to even to even get your help." But by the way, the cost of my advice is free. Doesn't cost you anything. Just if you see benefit in my services, I just ask that you refer me to someone else. But whether or not you reach out to me, please reach out to someone. Your family, your legacy, your what you leave on this earth is depending on it. So thank you so much, Eric. It's an honor and pleasure to be here with all of our incredible world-class speakers. And with that, I hand it back to you, Mr. Eric F. King of Collaboration.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Appreciate you, Leah. Thank you so much. That was a powerful message. And I think you changed their life right now. Like someone is going to get life insurance because of what you just said. You know, what you said was powerful. And I was talking to you before the call, and when I had my accident last year, and I dislocated my shoulder, and I was going in for an operation. I was talking about that a few days ago at my event in my keynote speech. I wasn't thinking about cars and houses and trips. I was thinking about how much do I have for my kids if something happened to me on that operating table, right? So it's what you do, you save lives. You change lives and you save lives. So thank you so much. All right, so we're going to keep on going. We're going to keep on going. And now we're going to go to our mindset coach all the way in Texas. When you think of fear, right, you think of mindset. Well, because that has a lot to do with whether you're fearful or not and how you overcome it. All right, so our speaker today is a world-renowned mindset coach. She is the host of the Cassandra Terry Morning Show, and she is the author of Soar Beyond Limits. She is the author of this book. If you don't have it, grab it now. Before we get off this, you have to have it in your inbox from Amazon. Okay, click it and buy it. All right. I hope I did a good job of plugging a book, my friend.
Great job. Great job.
Right.
Unexpected and much appreciated, Eric. Thank you very
Cassandra
much.
Terry, you are up, my friend. Go ahead.
Can you guys hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear me okay?
perfectly.
Okay, great. So thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate that. Fear. When you talk about fear, you are talking primarily about mindset because we're fearful of something that has not happened yet. So we're allowing our minds to drift into the future, and we've got this crystal ball, and for whatever reason, the only thing it sees is what could possibly go wrong, right? And so we slide into this fantasy space and we try to protect ourselves from something that hasn't even happened. Fear in and of itself is not a bad thing. It heightens our awareness and it clues us in, and it will allow us to protect ourselves. But when it becomes the driving force and it determines whether or not we are moving, what then it goes into a different space, right? Instead of it being a protector, it actually is hindering us from moving forward. So what can we do about that? The first thing we have to do is acknowledge and name that fear. Our fear is typically taking place right here between our ears, and we're not even that aware of it. And it is quietly controlling our lives, telling us what we can and what we can't do. So acknowledge it, give it a name, bring it out of the shadows and into the light so that you can actually deal with it and what it really is, right? And it's not our enemy, it's our bodies trying to protect us, our inner voice trying to keep us safe. But what safety looked like before versus what we're capable of now is two very, very different things. When I was very young, my sister and I were in the pool at my dad's place, and the flow of the water in and out pushed her out away from the wall. We couldn't swim. And I saw my sister going down and fighting the water, and I jumped towards her. And in me jumping towards her, now we're both drowning. She's out of control. Neither of us can swim. And we're just fighting the water, fighting for our lives. And somebody saw it. Thank goodness this man saw it. Fully dressed. He had his, it was a long time ago, cigarettes in his pocket, all his clothes on his shirt. He just dived in with everything. And he grabbed my sister and he pulled her out. But he didn't get me because he saw me go for her. So he assumed that I could swim. And by the grace of God, with just paddling and fighting and being afraid, I somehow floated and found my way back to where I could reach the edge. From that point on, I've had such an unnatural fear of water that I'm still trying to learn how to swim. But I keep going in. I keep going to the beach. I bought a property at the beach so I'll be there at the end of the month for my birthday. I go and I get into that water. As soon as I start to walk towards it, I feel the anxiety rising. But I do it anyway because I know I'm not that little girl anymore. I know I'm not going to float away. I'm wise enough to know when I've gone too far. So I have to start to talk myself through that so I can continue to enjoy the water. So in doing that, I'm challenging that inner voice, right? I've acknowledged it, I've named the fear, I challenge the inner voice, and I talk to myself and I say, I'm okay. Take that next step, which is part of the process, taking small, brave steps. I'm not going to dive in, right? I may never in my life, even though I have a dream of it, so it could happen. But diving in right now, it's important for me just to get in, to let the water come all the way up here. Y'all, I can barely inhale and exhale because I'm so fearful, but I do it anyway, pushing towards. And every time I get in, I'm a little bit more comfortable by building up that confidence and resilience. So you keep going. It doesn't mean that the fear goes away, but you allow yourself to take small steps that will bring you forward towards the things that you are fearful of. And in that, you are embracing a growth mindset. You're telling yourself that I can do it anyway. Despite every time a negative message comes up about your abilities, you tell yourself two or three positives to counteract that so that you can reframe that thinking. There was a time where I wouldn't go near the edge of a pool. And if people were around, I stayed that much farther away, a fear of somebody pushing me in and things like that. I'm so much better now. I've gone snorkeling and done all kinds of things that I thought I would never do, but I embraced the growth mindset, and my fear of not doing things became more powerful than my fear of doing it. What if I lived my life this small? What if I didn't experience those things? What learning am I going to get by trying and it not working out the way that I wanted? Growth mindset. So don't expect that all your fears will evaporate, but know that you have the power to step into them step by step and move forward even with the fear. And over time, it dissipates and you learn how to overcome it, and let fear be a signal that you need to pay attention, not a stop sign that you're incapable. So start by acknowledging your fear, challenge your inner critic, take small, brave steps, and embrace the growth mindset. If you do those things, you can overcome anything. So I'm Cassandra Terry, mindset coach. I absolutely am here to walk with you every step of the way of fear, overcoming limiting beliefs in any way. You can catch me on any form of social media. And I do invite you all to go out to Amazon and find SOAR. It will change your life. It will give you the actionable steps to move from where you are to where it is that you would like to be. And Eric, I thought I had a love for you, but my heart just blew open this morning because that was above and beyond. And I absolutely appreciate you and all of you and everything that you do in supporting me and what I do. So with that, back to you, Eric.
No problem. We appreciate you as always,
Thank you.
Cassandra. You always bring so much value, and now we get the value in a book, right? In a book, So I read somewhere where they said you can take decades and consolidate it into days when you read a book of an expert. Decades and consolidate into days. So we appreciate you and all that you bring. All right, so we're going to keep moving. We're going to keep moving. I'm going to speak briefly on this topic of overcoming fear. So last summer, my son wanted to learn how to drive. Okay, he's 17, is it 16, 17? 16 last year. And the first day we sat in the car, he was so nervous. We were in a parking lot, nobody in the parking lot, but he didn't want to move the car. So I said, well, there's nobody here. Like, you can't even hit anything. You can't hit anything. Just start moving. He said, I know, Dad. I'm just a little scared. So he would drive a little bit and stop, drive a little bit and stop. And I said, okay, you just need to keep going. And then I said, I told him to stop for a second. I said, look at the main road. What do you see? He said, I see a lot of cars moving, people driving. Okay, great. I said, what's the difference between you and the people that are driving? He said, well, they know how to drive. I said, why do they know how to drive? He said, because they've been driving, like they have experience. I said, there you go. You don't need the confidence they have. You just need the courage to start, because you're going to be like them very soon once you have some experience. And that just gave him the courage to start. Now he never stays in the house. He's driving all over the place, like within 2 months, right? So that's just to say what Cassandra said, that you will experience fear, but you just have to fight it to keep moving. You just have to fight it, right? It's normal. It's normal to be fearful. I did a studio event a couple of days ago, and I remember my first studio event. My photographer, Emmanuel, he's from Cameroon, one of my best friends. We went there together, and I was backstage, and I was about to go on stage. Now, I've done a lot of speeches in the last 20 years. I've been on stages. I've talked to thousands of people. I was in the studio backstage. They're calling my name, and Emmanuel said, "Are you nervous?" And I said, "I have some butterflies." That's a fancy way of saying yes. I said, "I have some butterflies, but I'm gonna do it. I'm excited." And I went out there and I did it. And then once I did it, I realized I can speak in studio, right? Now I have speakers flying in from across the country, and they say, "Eric, what tip do you have for me?" And the reason I have a tip is because I did it. I faced my fear, and now I help other people do it. Okay. So you have to face your fear. So 3 tips, one real quick. As it relates to sales, people have a fear of selling because they don't want to sound pushy. They don't want to sound salesy, right? But you have to get training to learn how to overcome it, right? That's one point. Acquire new skills in whatever you do. Acquire the skills, and that will give you the confidence to overcome your fear. Acquire new skills. Okay. So that's number one. Number two is get around people that are already doing what you want to do. When I first became an entrepreneur, I was around entrepreneurs, people that are already successful. Don't hang around people that don't have a business, that have a job, because they can't tell you how to build a business, right? You hang around people that will push you. I was in a group with a lot of authors, and I never wrote a book, but I saw all these authors, and I said, man, if they can do it, I can do it. And within 4 months, I had my first book, right? So get around the people that are doing what you want to do. And then lastly, feel the fear and just do it anyway. Just like Cassandra said, feel the fear and do it anyway. If I don't do something that's a little fearful, like where there's a little trepidation, then I'm not moving forward. If you're doing the same thing every day, you're not moving forward. All the money you've made, the money you've made in the past is all the money you'll make if you don't face fear, right? Fear will take you to another level, right? So that's what I want to share real quick. And before I get off, I want to remind everybody that I do have a class coming up next week. If you want to join my Compassionate Closer class, if you want to be able to close more deals, if you want to be able to be comfortable speaking to people when you meet with them, if you want to go through role play scenarios where we actually practice how you do it, if you want to have a situation where people are selling themselves based on what you said, then click on the link. I'll put it in the chat. Meetwithericf.com, and let's have a conversation and see if my compassionate closer coaching program is right for you. All right. So now I want to move on to our next speaker. He's a good friend of mine. He's in Europe. He went from Nigeria to Europe. So I don't know if he's Nigerian or European, but maybe a mix. Maybe a mix. He speaks with a British accent, but he's still Nigerian. All right. So he makes people famous. I met him on LinkedIn, and he really helped me explode my business on LinkedIn. In fact, the people that are on this call I met through LinkedIn because Annie helped me, explode my business on LinkedIn. So he helps people become famous on LinkedIn and beyond. He's a marketing expert. So without further ado, Annie, the floor is yours, my friend.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Eric. So I say my confusion, your confusion. I got a 15-year-old son who speaks Yoruba, and he's British. Then YouTube does amazing things to teach people different things, right? Now, look, and I will say, Cassandra's book is amazing for sure. So I've seen it, and also I will say your compassionate closer program, like the 6-week course I went on last year. It really opened my eyes to what you can do as a business. Not want to be salesy, not know how to respond to people who didn't want to buy your service right there and then. That's literally opened my eyes and gave me strategies I could use going forward. That's something I was very fearful of. Many business people, we are. That's a word from that. Say literally, we're petrified of selling to people. And your program helped me to learn skills and to learn to relax. It was so good, Eric. I put my 3 staff through your program as well. So literally, we're benefiting from what we learn from you every day of the week. I'll say thank you for sure. Look, this fear thing, I think you've been very generous. Everyone has spoken so far. I'm just a lot more ignorant about fear. No. It is the most pointless emotion there is. I tell you why. No, I hear what you're saying, all of you. It can be helpful. You might drown Cassandra, of course, and swimming is a problem here as well, right? You might, but guess what? You don't. 99% of the things we fear never come to pass. Never. That just tells me, brush it off. I know. We are hardwired to feel fear sometimes, but like Eric said, though, fear and excitement is the same feeling, same physical response. So you might as well just go, tell yourself you're excited. I think many people they feel fear. Some are naturally anxious. Some people are they're warriors, so they'll feel fear. No, my wife's one of those people who literally likes to, what if? What I'm saying, no, don't worry. What if? What if it goes right? What if it goes right? What if it goes the way we want? And so that's one set of people that I know, and another set of people I know who feel fear constantly are the ones who lack self-confidence. They don't trust themselves to do the right thing for them, and they literally go into a spasm about. It's going to go wrong. I can't do it. This is terrible for me. It's going to be a disaster. See, I had a lady, one of my connections on LinkedIn. Literally, she lost her job, and she was applying for other jobs. There's a certain period when literally every day she would message me, "I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to be homeless today. I'm going to be homeless tomorrow." Okay. Now I can't find my car. What am I gonna do? And I used to just message. Just breathe. Breathe first of all. Do something. That's my advice to everyone. When you feel fear, do something. Take a step. Take action to solve the issue that's causing you fear. What you can't do is get paralyzed. Now, this lady I'm talking about, uh, she will go through this. I'm going to be homeless routine. I can't pay my rent. I can't pay for anything. And then 2 days later, she start again. I'll be like, you solved it yesterday. You're not homeless. So well, do it again. And guess what? She would. Again, 2 days later, that fear has been resolved, and she's now it's another fear episode. So I'm saying, no. My point is this, my friends: face your realities, find your inner confidence, tell yourself that you can fix this because you really can. You always do. And maybe the only thing that I'm going to add to what Cassandra, Eric, and Leo said is keep a list, keep a book of those things that you do solve. It might come in handy. Even though you might want to look at your book and say, right, I'm petrified today of what's going to happen in this situation. And then you see that you have been solving problems every day. You've been overcoming your fears every day. That should give you the confidence to be more confident. That should give you the confidence to know that you got this. You really have. But it's how we all get here. And I say again, fear and excitement are the same thing, same emotion. So now don't let one kill you when you can be used as your superpower. Every day I wake up. Eric, I love your point about if you don't feel fear, you're not going to get richer than you are today. It's true. No, but then I say I love that fear. I love that feeling of it's where the magic happens. Use that in life, my friends. I'll leave you with that.
All right. All right. Well, thank you so much. Another TED Talk. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. I was just thinking you can go to college for 4 years and then go to get your master's for 2 years and then go get your PhD for another 3 years and still not learn the kind of stuff we talk about here. For real. Like what we talk about here really can change your life. All right. This is not theory. Everybody's bringing real life examples here. So this is powerful, folks. This is absolutely powerful. All right. Speaking of powerful, I have a powerful speaker that I'm about to introduce. He is powerful. The lady said he has a sexy voice, and I try not to be jealous, but it is what it is. And he's all the way from Nigeria. My goodness, if you are a negative person, you need to listen to this guy. Okay, he will change the way you think. All right, I'm a client of his. He helps people all over the world with positivity. He has his own industry. He has no competition. Imagine that, no competition. He is Mr. Positivity, all the way from Nigeria. Zion, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Eric and Mr. Eni. That was spot on. Thank you, Cassandra, Leah. And yes, to the amazing people who are listening to us from the audience, I want to say a very big thank you for being part of the conversation today. And yes, when we talk about fear, in one way or the other, we've all experienced fear. In different capacity, in our diversity, we have experienced fear in our life. And just as our faces are different, so are the triggers of fear in our life different. For some person, they're scared of cats. For some, they're scared of dogs. For some, they're scared of water. For some, they're scared of business. For some, they're scared of so many things. But at the end of the day, that's why we're talking about fear. How can we overcome fear? And when we talk about fear, there are some synonyms with fear, like anxiety, panic, and worry. So the word might not be fear to you. It can be panic, it can be anxiety, it can be worry, but they are all the same categories of fear. And then, what are the opposite of fear? You can look about courage, boldness, bravery, confidence. So if you want to move from a place of fear to a place of boldness, to a place of confidence, that's what we are talking about today. And I love Cansadra's first point she mentioned, identify your fear. It's very key and it's very, very important. Most people are scared, they're afraid, but they don't know what they're afraid of. They don't know. I'm afraid of the dark. I'm afraid of the dark. What's in the dark you're afraid of? So you need to identify your fear. I was talking with a friend about a few weeks ago, and then he said, I don't like being optimistic. I like being a pessimist. Because why? It saves me from disappointment. It saved me from believing. It saved me from hoping. So I don't hope. Whatever happens, I just take it without being disappointed. I'm like, oh my God, man, you are limiting yourself. So because you are scared of disappointment, because you are scared of things not working out, so you don't dream, you don't aspire, you don't venture into things. Wow, you are limiting yourself. And there might be people like that listening to the sound of my voice. You try to be in your comfort zone. You don't set your expectations too high, because you are afraid disappointment might come along the way. You are afraid, it might not work out. You are afraid, what will people say? You are afraid, how will people see me? How will people treat me? It's okay. That's why we are here today. And the first point I'll talk about is identifying your fear. And I like the fact that Cassandra has mentioned that earlier, because it's very key. It's very key. Identify your fear simply means recognizing it. You must know what scares you. You must know what makes you afraid. So don't just be afraid for the sake of it. Don't just be afraid for the naming of it. Don't just be afraid for the fun of it, because people are afraid for the fun of it. No. You must know those things that triggers your fear. Those things that makes you afraid. For some persons, they are afraid of failure. They are afraid of uncertainty. They are afraid of the future. The truth is, we are only afraid of the things we don't know. We are only afraid of the things we've not seen. But the things we are not afraid of them anymore. So you must identify your fear. And the next point is, don't just stop at identifying it, talk about it. Talk about your fear. Don't be scared to talk about your fear. Most people recognize their fear, but they don't talk about it. If I talk about it, it's going to trigger some emotions. If I talk about it, it's going to make me to be scared more. No, it's okay to be scared. It's okay to have those emotions. Learn to talk about it. The more you talk about it, the more you familiarize yourself with your fear. The more you talk about your fear, the more you get acquainted to it. The more you talk about your fear, the more you have more knowledge about your fears. So don't just recognize your fear, talk about your fear. And another point I use in overcoming fear is gratitude. It's gratitude. It's gratitude. You might not have seen it. Be grateful that it will come to pass. Be grateful that it will come to pass. Now, I'll tell people, like, you are having the feeling of being afraid because you are alive. That's the truth. You are having the feeling, I'm scared. It's because you are alive. If you are not, the people in the grave don't even think about fear. So be grateful for your life.
All right, all right. Well, on that note, I'll jump right in. Great job, Zion. We appreciate you as always. What a TED Talk. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I want to acknowledge a lot of people that are here, the people that put information in the chat. Carl, welcome. Alexis, welcome. Genevieve, good to see you. Let's see. I always felt friend. That's Beryl. Friend, good to see you. Good to see you. Alexis, good to see you. And everybody else. So I know there are a lot of people. So put some information in here. Put your questions so we see who you are. All right. So welcome everybody. All right. So we have a lot of questions, which is great. I'm excited about that. Let's go to our first question. Let's see. Can you provide examples of how facing your fear has led to personal growth? So maybe one example of how facing your fear has led to personal growth. Does anybody want to talk about that? Facing your fear. Okay, go ahead, Annie.
In business, every day you have to face your fear. Now, for me, I face my fear. How many fears can I have, right? Public speaking. On a Monday I wake up. Of course, now I'm old enough, I'm wise enough now to look at the topic and have a thought. What am I going to say? You know, I could easily go into a whole tease about, oh, what if I sound terrible? What if I forget what I want to say? What if? I haven't got time for that. You know, so I face it every Monday, and I turn up and to come and enjoy myself. And the way I tend to overcome those sort of fears is simply to think about our audience. This is not about me. This is about helping our audience to understand the topic. That's why we choose it, right? So in that sense, it doesn't matter how I say it. Doesn't almost doesn't matter what I say. As long as I say what I think that's going to help people, then that's the important thing, right? You know. So when it's not about you, you can let go of your fears. When you think about people you're here to serve and just doing what you have to do to serve them, that's in life's much easier.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, welcome, James. My son is on. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, now go to school. My teenager is on. Awesome. Awesome. Appreciate you. All right. Zion, did you want to close with anything? I know you were speaking earlier. Is there anything else you want to share?
Yes. Well, part of the leading English that happens, but we are okay. We are good to go. Like I was saying before, remember your past, be grateful for your life, and secondly, stay positive and continue to affirm yourself in positivity. There is no better way to overcome fear by reminding yourself that you are the best, you are amazing, you can achieve anything, you have the ability to do anything you want to do. Affirming yourself is key to overcoming fear. It's a reminder that you can do it. It's a reminder that you have all it takes to achieve it. And lastly, in overcoming fear, I'm a believer, I'm a Christian, is total trust in God. I cannot stress this enough. He said he has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love, of power, and of the sound mind. Fear not, because I will be with you. So because I trust God, because I believe in God, I'm not scared, I'm not afraid. Why? Because God is bigger than my fear. And remember that if you are positive, you're possible, and in positivity, there is endless possibilities for you. So thank you so much for listening. I need the mic.
All right, we appreciate that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I agree 100%. 100%. Before I get on stage, I say a prayer. So when I went on the studio room, we had a lot of speakers. So I called everybody over. I said, we're gonna do the same prayer I do when we start. So we all prayed, right? So that gives you confidence. That gives you confidence beyond anything, for sure. Absolutely. All right, we appreciate you. Now where were we? I forgot where were we. Okay, everybody has spoken, right? Everybody spoke. Okay, we're going to the questions. Yes, yes, the questions. So, does anybody else want to answer that question? Which is provide examples of how facing your fear has led you to your personal growth.
Yeah, I would just add, I mean, that was so incredible, Zion. This is just such an awesome conversation. I want to just toggle on to what Annie shared really quick, and that is when we're thinking about ourselves, that's when the fear can paralyze us and prevent us from moving forward. I never wanted to be on camera. I never wanted to be on a podcast. I never wanted to be, and like I've got all these different things I'm doing, all these different collaborations. And the reason I do it is not because I feel so great being on camera and doing all these things. It's because I'm thinking about the people that I can serve. I'm thinking about the people that need to hear what I have to share. And really, when you come from service and you're focused on what the value that you're bringing and you're focused on the people, then you'll find that the fear kind of fades away, and it loses its power over you. And what Golden Eagle, Miss Genevieve, you're so right. It's that false evidence appearing real because we build it up in our mind. So with that, I yield the mic, Mr. Eric.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Zion.
All right, thank you. A practical example of overcoming fear that led to my growth. It's I used to be scared of leaving the comfort zone of negativity because that was the status quo. That's what I grew up to know. That's how I was nurtured from a child. But being able to leave the place of negativity to a place of positivity has caused me to grow tremendously. I tell you, if I was still in a place of negativity, I would have not met Eric, Cassandra, Eni, Leah, and the amazing person listening in the audience. So by meeting you, I've grown, I've become a better person, I've become a better version of myself. So I used to be scared of leaving my comfort zone of negativity, but I'm glad I took the decision, and there is no going back. It's going upward and upward forever. So that's a practical example of how I was able to face my fear that led to my growth.
Awesome. Awesome. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, Cassandra.
This is a great question, and you can go with it in so many different ways. If any of us ever stop to really think about how our lives have unfolded, we'll find those moments where we push through fear, and that accelerated our moving forward, us heading into our success. When I was growing, I talk about it quite a bit. It was actually the very first thing that I blogged a couple of years ago, was that I was a people pleaser. The reason that I was a people pleaser is because I had such a fear of not being enough, not being enough in and of myself, that I had to do these things to prove my worth on a daily basis throughout the day. My grades had to be good so that my parents were satisfied. Whatever the situation was, I would go above and beyond, even what I was comfortable. I said yes when I really wanted to say no. I had no boundaries and protection of what, or even an idea of what I liked and what I didn't like, because I was so focused on trying to be enough for everybody else. When I realized that that was what was going on, and I started to peel that back, a fear of abandonment, a fear of people not really liking me, but more liking what it was that I did. As I faced that, I was able to start to work through it and look at life through a different lens, realizing that I didn't value myself and didn't see the value that I brought into the world. I knew that that was something that I had to fix. But I had to identify it first. So that's why that awareness and calling it what it is so very important, because then you can go and solve the right problem. It does no good to bandage your arm if you've stumped your toe. You have to find where the real issue is and do that work so that you are able to move forward. So once I realized that and I began to do the work, then I could see my boundaries. I could hear my thoughts independent of the next person's thoughts, and be okay if they were different, voice them if they were different, and move through the world in a much more authentic, fulfilling way than what I did before, when I was at the mercy of everyone else's opinion. So I thought, but it was really my opinion that was holding me back the entire time. So that work is imperative to you living your life out loud and to its fullest, and actually enjoying the experience. So name it, do the work to figure out where the pain is, and then do whatever you can do to heal that pain so that you can go forward without it and live your life to the fullest.
Wow, that's amazing. You're 100% on point. The fear of actually acknowledging the fear is what most of us have to deal with, right? The fear. So awesome. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right. So we're going to go to another question. This one is by Alexis Gerloff James. And it's, what are some main reasons that we are not able to break through fear? Okay. Main reasons. That's it. Okay. Cassandra, go for it.
Yeah, that's a huge one. Thank you for that question, Alexis. It is uncomfortable. It is painful. It is scary. It's all the negative emotions sitting in that fear. But it's the only way to break through it, because you can't know what it is. You can't do the work to counter it if you're not familiar, not aware of what it is in the first place. So most of the time we get close to it, and those negative emotions, that discomfort starts to come, and we back up immediately. We will turn and run the other way. So the fear is still right there on the edge. And until we do the work to start to move through it, we're stuck. We can't get beyond it without dealing with the discomfort of it and identifying it in the first place.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for that. I think Zion put his hand up first, and then we'll go to Annie.
All right, thank you. That was a wonderful question. Few of the main reasons for me that I've experienced that has made me, as at that time, not to break free from fear was self-limiting beliefs. You know, self-limiting belief, because fear is from within. It's from within you, and having those beliefs and reminding yourself that, oh, I'm not good enough, I cannot do it, I cannot make it, can put you constantly in a place of fear. And secondly, so being surrounded by people that fuel fears, it's one way that you cannot break free from fear. Let me tell you, no matter how confident you are, when you are with somebody that fuel fears, you start questioning your belief. You start questioning what you know. So staying away from people that fuel fears, it's very, very important. It's key. Start surrounding yourself with people who will help you overcome it, who will encourage you, who will push you forward for you to be able to overcome fear. So for me, those are the main reasons that I have experienced that has kept me in a place of fear. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. That's brilliant. Thank you so much. And Annie, go ahead.
No, so for Cassandra and Zion, I agree with both of you. I would just add that from my experience, we're kept in a word of fear because it becomes a bad habit, a terrible habit that we just now humans I find tend to resort to habits. We like to take literally we like to do what comes automatically. For some people, just living in that what if it's just what they're used to. It's what they've been doing for years, and they're just comfortable doing it. It doesn't help at all. We need to break bad habits and make good habits. But again, this is Cassandra's. That's a lesson learn from Cassandra. Literally, you can't replace. You can't change a habit with nothing. It's mindset 101, right? You have to create a good habit. But as Zion's saying, you have to create a different way of thinking of who you are to replace that old self, that old belief. And a lot of people don't do the work on themselves to understand how their mind works. Now, when you do, you say a good mindset coach would probably get you to really look at your habits, look at your self belief, look at what you do automatically, your automatic behavior, your habits, and then get to work out which ones are helping you, which ones are not helping you, and then work on replacing the ones that are not helping you with better, more productive behaviors and habits.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And those are powerful words, very powerful words. One thing that comes to me is a lot of times our fear is not really the fear of that thing, it's the fear of what people say. Is right. So Coral was in the VIP. She was one of the I think 15 people or so that were in our VIP room a couple of days ago for our speakers. Okay, and had a chance to ask questions. And she asked a question about this, and I asked her a question. I said, "Have you ever seen me make a mistake on any of my calls?" And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "And when I make a mistake, do I keep on going or do I just end the call?" She said, you just keep on going. That's it. Because I don't care what people say when they say, well, I can't believe Eric just made a mistake. So what? Everybody makes a mistake, right? So we have to stop worrying about what people say. Once you start worrying about what people say, oh my goodness, there's so much you can accomplish in life. It is liberating when you don't worry about what people say. You just try all kinds of stuff. You just try, like, so what, right? So I think that's one of the things we have to learn, to just do what we want to do, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, but not worry about what people say. You'll make mistakes, so what? I make mistakes all the time. It doesn't matter. You just keep on moving. You keep on moving, and then you get better as you go. Yeah. So, all right, let's go to another question. We have several questions today. This is exciting. All right, let's see. I think we had a question from somebody else had a question here. Let's see. Give me 1 second.
When you're doing that, Eric, I'll just add something
Yeah,
real
yeah.
quick.
Go
Is
ahead.
that I think action cures fear. Taking action. And Cassandra Terry says, do it scared. Do it with shaky legs. Do it even if your voice trembles. If you just start doing it, then you're going to start to do it. Right?
Yeah.
Then you're going to actually do it. So that's my 2 cents.
Awesome. Thank you. And thanks for just speaking. Yeah, if you have something to say, just just shout it out, because I can't see your hand right now. All right. All right. My good friend Genevieve from the islands asked this question. What strategies or techniques have you found most effective in overcoming fear in your own life and or work? What strategies? Yeah. Who would like
I'll
to?
share.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Mel Robbins says that fear and excitement are the same, release the same endorphins, the same stimulants in our body. So whenever I have a fear, I just reframe it. And I tell myself, I'm excited. I'm excited for this outcome. Excited for what this is going to do for me. I'm excited for the end result. I'm excited for the lessons I'm going to learn. For me in my journey, what I've learned, questions are always the answers. It's seldom what we say, and it's most often what the questions that we ask ourselves is where all the gold is hidden. I yield the mic, Mr. Eric.
Wow, where the gold is hidden. These analogies are just too much. Dude, like between you and Cassandra, just too much early in the morning. Go ahead, Cassandra.
I
Cassandra.
want to tag on to yeah, I want to tag on to what Leah just said is because I'm a Mel Robbins fan also. And one of the things I remember her talking about, she actually wrote a whole book about it, is I call it blasting off. I don't think that's exactly the term she used, but just to help yourself to do it. When you're in that moment and you're either procrastinating or you're holding back out of fear, she thinks of herself as a rocket, and she does exactly what they do, that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then without thinking she goes. So that is an actual technique that you can apply while you're doing all the mental work to go from thinking about it and planning to actually implementing and doing. Give yourself a little countdown. You see kids do it. They want to jump in the pool or something. They go, okay, I'm gonna do it, and they just go. And doing that, you don't even give yourself the time to have that second thought, and you're building up the excitement that Leah just talked about, and you blast off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And you train your brain at the end of that countdown that the only thing that's to do is to actually take that first step. All the thinking, all the processing, all the everything is gone. You had your last 5 seconds and you get into it and you take that first step. So yeah, that was one of the things. That was one of, I can't remember which book it was of hers. Leah, you probably know better than I do,
The
but that
five
was one of the
second
ways I
rule.
was introduced. The 5 second
Yeah,
rule.
the
That's
five
it.
second rule.
That
Yeah,
five
fast.
second rule is so powerful because it gets you into action.
Yes,
So I just wanted to tag
absolutely.
that on.
I love it. I actually use it. I use the 5 second rule. I heard Mel Robbins speak like 10, I don't know, 5, 10 years ago. And I use it. Like if I can't get up in the morning, I just count down from five. You believe it or not, I do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up, and I get up. So it's amazing what you learn from these people. Like we listen to the same people. I love Mel Robbins. All right, go ahead, my friend Annie. Go ahead.
See, I think we're saying it. I hope our friends in the audience are getting it. We push past fear every day. We will have to. It's just part of life. I think for me, I spend my good energy every day, maybe almost every moment of every day, trying to push, trying to have more self confidence in myself, genuinely. So I realize many things that work in my life and in my business come down to self confidence. So, I'm one to truly tell myself, you can do anything, and make myself believe it. Now, what are you saying, Cassandra? Just do a different technique. Now, mine is just believe in yourself and believe you're a superhero. Nothing can stop you, and so just do it, whatever it is, right? Do whatever it is you have to do. Just take it now. Believe in yourself enough to take that first step. Now, I would say, I'm one who I'm not. I'm okay with not doing it perfectly. I'm okay with what they call failure, making mistakes. I'm all right with that. Literally, because I am so great in my life, what can happen if it goes wrong? Nothing. I just learn and I come and try again. That's why I face my fears every day. That's the way I overcome what I need to do in business. Because with that, you don't stop. You can create genius. Not by going from the 1 to 100, but by going step by step by step. You make mistakes, you learn, you improve. Come tomorrow, you try again. But you'll
Absolutely.
be better tomorrow than you are today. Yeah,
Thank you,
that's
my
what I
Hey,
brother.
face
Eric,
in
can I
life.
jump in really quickly? Because I know you haven't had a chance to go on this one yet, but I'd really like to use your compassionate closer training as an example. So, most people, when they're entrepreneurs, it's because there's something that they're passionate about, something that they're really good at. That doesn't mean that you know how to sell it, know how to market it, know how to put it out there. So you build yourself a team of people who can help you with the parts of you that are still under construction, right? And that may never become your main thing. So you have to get comfortable as you can investing in the areas of yourself, bringing in experts who can help you overcome or who can actually lift that piece of your business and carry it forward for you. I'm a customer of both Eric and Any for that very reason. I've spoken with Leah for that very reason because I need advice in that area. It doesn't make matter how much money I make, but if I don't do the right things with it, I don't leave behind what I want for my kids. But for the compassionate closer, I could not sell. I felt wrong talking to people about mindset and the things that are so important to me. I see it as a ministry, I see it as a service. So for me in my head to put a price tag on it somehow was devaluing it, demeaning it in some way. And I really had to get up close and personal with Eric to walk through that limiting belief, because if I don't see the value in what I'm doing, then I'm stuck. It's small how much I can do it. If I have to go to the 9 to 5 every day for the rest of my life, I'll never build the business into what it can be, because I still have to sustain myself and I still have to sustain my family, and I am providing value. But how to have those conversations, going through Eric's compassionate closer training was the slide from this is not for me, I really can't do this, into, oh, I get it, and this is why it's important, and here's how I can do it. And the role playing, the whole thing, Coral talks about the role playing all the time. It's invaluable because in a safe place you get the opportunity to build up that muscle, to try the things that you're so uncomfortable with. Fear is often based in the unknown, right? And so when you do something, take action. And for me in that space, the action was to go through this training so that I could replace that thought with some actual action, some actual practice that would allow me to build a business that I was very um I was very passionate about. So I was really surprised, it's not surprised, but excited, Eric, to hear that you're doing it again, because I know there's people out there just like me who you have something of value that you want to bring, but you're only able to do it in bits and bytes because so much of your time is spent doing the things that sustain you. But to move from that to that being the thing that sustains you, you have to build up the sales and marketing part of your business so that more people know what you're doing and they're supporting it because they're investing in themselves. And Eric, I really want to thank you for that, because that really took my business into being a dream, from being a dream into being an actual business that generates some income for me so that I could see myself actually doing it at some point full time. And it wasn't something that was really much on my radar until I went through your class and saw that I could put myself out there in that way as well. So thank you for that. And if you
You're
guys
welcome.
haven't taken it, if you have the struggle that I have, it's easy. It feels good. It's safe. And you come out of it with skills that you didn't have when you went into it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Someone told me that I should actually say the site because some people are listening and not seeing. So it's meetwithericf.com. Meet with Eric. Eric is ERIC and then F like Frank. Meetwithericf.com and book a call. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. The last thing I want to say before we round up is accountability. So the number one way that I overcome fear is I put it out there and I have to do it. I do that every day. Like today, I'm gonna meet with my VA. He edits my videos, and I'm gonna tell him, okay, I'm gonna do 2 videos and send it to you by noon, and you can edit them. And I haven't done the videos yet. I have to do it now. I have to do it. I just told him it's coming, and he's gonna say, Eric, I don't see them yet. I say it's coming. Right. So little things like that I do. I do. I do. I do events. I plan an event. I have the images of the event and I put it out there and I say, what's $97 for VIP? You pay $97. I have to put on that VIP event. I have to do it. Right. So put yourself out there. People say, I don't want to put myself out there. That's what you need to do. Put yourself out there and you'll be amazed at how much you'll succeed because you just have to do it. You just have, you promise people that you're going to do it. Right. My son was on the call just a minute ago. I hope he's not on there anymore. I hope he's at school. But anyway, I do that to them. I say, okay, where do you want to go for vacation? We want to go to Mexico. Okay, we're going to go to Mexico this summer. Now I have to make it happen. I have to make it happen, right? So, so that's the number one way I do it. So it's scary, but it works. It works. All right. So let's round up. We're at the top of the hour. I'm just going to go around the room. Please let the viewers and the listeners know how they can reach you, because some people right now, they want to download your information. Some people want to meet with you and get your training or your service. So how can we get a hold of you? Anybody can go first.
I'll go
So
ahead and
you
go
can catch
first.
me on all the socials. Oh, sorry, Leah.
Leah.
Go ahead.
Okay, Leah, go ahead. Leah, go ahead.
Okay, sorry, Cassandra. So yeah,
Oh,
they
you're
can
good.
reach me on all the social medias, and also we have the Money Minute. It's on YouTube, and you can reach out to me for my one-page financial plan, thewallofwealth.org or thewallofwealth@gmail.com, and I would love to help you overcome your fears about money. So there you go, Eric.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And that's Leah Garcia. I just put the name in the chat. All right. Go ahead, Cassandra.
All right. So Cassandra Terry, you can find me on all the social media sites. My primary is LinkedIn. I'm there more and do more there than any place, but I stream to all of them. And like Eric mentioned at the top of the hour, I released my book about a week ago, Soar Beyond Limits, Unleashing the Power Within. You can look for my name on Amazon and get that as a online, a paperback or hardcover, whatever you prefer. So I would love to hear from you guys that have read it. Put those reviews out there, share your comments, and we will keep on keeping on. So find me on the socials. Thanks, Eric.
Awesome. I got the book online and physical. I just wanted every single. Do you have audio? I need it all.
Not yet, but that's the next project. That's the next project.
I need it all. If you do a movie, I'll be there. I'll be there at the premiere. All right. All right. Hey, Eddie, go ahead. Go ahead, Eddie.
So I like how you're all authors. I mean, I'm well aware of your book, Eric. I'm also aware of Leah's book, The Wall of Building Your Wall of Wealth, which is a great read. So I'm glad to say I'm going to be published soon enough. Mid-April, our book's coming out. Lessons learned through COVID. So I'm excited to join the club. I really am. So I love what you said at the beginning, Eric. Literally a book will condense a decade of learning into days, into hours. You should get someone reading the book, right? It's a great thing.
Absolutely.
Look. It's always great, to work with all of you and to learn from you. It really is. I missed last week, so I did actually miss you. So I was thinking, I can't do it.
We missed you too, man.
Thank you. You're too kind. Glad to be back. And it's a joy. It's a joy, my friends.
Did you say how we can get in touch with you?
I put my links in the in the chat. So
you have to say it. You have to say it.
Okay, LinkedIn is any old song on LinkedIn is my personal profile. That's where I get most of my messages. You can find me at Global.Media. So that's spelling Global.Media.com on Global.Media on every social platform. Otherwise, it's still they're still my channels, right? So
awesome.
Yeah, it's a joy.
Thank you. All right. And for me, like I said, I meet with ericf.com. And I'm on all social media. If you want to watch my videos, I post them every day. All right. So did we go around? Everybody has spoken. Everybody has said where we can find them. Okay, good. So appreciate all of you. Appreciate all of you joining us today. And keep plugging in. Every single Monday we are here, 7 a.m. Eastern time, and share with your friends and family. All right, and get Cassandra's book if I haven't said that already. We appreciate you. We will see you next week. It has been a plum pleasing pleasure to be with you today. Take care. Bye bye, everybody.